lights shine them bright. Gonna have a brand new show tonight with glitz and glam on the marquee. Perhaps a Tony nominee. Stars beam brightly, see them glow. Sell out nightly, SRO. It's time to applaud the Broadway Beat. Stars beam brightly, see them glow in the footlights of a show. Life is sweet on the world's most famous street.
Tickets, please.
Take a seat
Cue the band.
and have your feet to the rhythm of the Broadway Beat. The Broadway Beat. Broadway Beat.
Hello, I'm Richard Ridge, and welcome to Broadway Beat, our weekly half-hour behind-the-scenes look at the very best of the New York theater on Broadway and beyond. Well, this is our last new show of the season before we begin our summer hiatus, and a fun-filled show it is. We'll take you to Roseland for one of the year's hottest events, the 17th annual Broadway Bears, which benefits Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. This year's theme were the gods and goddesses of Greek mythology. The show was entitled Myth Behavior. But let's start things off at New World Stages for the 2007 Theatre World Awards. This honor is bestowed on newcomers who are making their first major Broadway or off-Broadway debuts. First presented in 1945, the Theatre World Awards are amongst the oldest theatrical awards given. As is tradition, the newcomers receive their awards from past winners.
It's hard to be the diva, but take a tip from me, it may be hard to be the diva, but it's so much harder not to be singing Invisible Girls. Oh, it's hard! Yes, it's hard! Oh, it's hard! Baby, it's hard! And it's a hard lot, I kid you not. Hard lot, my nerves are shot. Hard lot, when you've got to be diva! And I'm the diva! Who's the diva? I'm the diva! Shut up! You don't know how hard it is to be this fabulous.
This year's winners were Eve Best for A Moon for the Misbegotten, Mary Birdsong for Martin Short, Fame Becomes Me.
I feel very excited. I guess that's pretty standard for these things, but I feel really, really excited, especially because I came to New York 20 years ago, I'm going to be on Les Mis, like I was going to be the next, like, Eponine, which is ridiculous. That's like casting Don Rickles as Javert. I mean, it would, I thank God I didn't get my dream, because it would have been horrible. Sorry, I just stepped on your feet. But so it took sort of 20 years for the, like, Broadway debut to happen, but it wound up sort of being the perfect role at the perfect time in the perfect show with the perfect cast and sort of the perfect marriage of material and actor, as far as I'm concerned, because it was amazing that somebody like Mark Shaman and Scott Whitman, the creators of Martin Short, Fame Becomes Me, and Marty himself sort of said, like, well, what do you do? What do you like to do? Well, we'll do that. Write her a little bit where she gets to do some, like, Judy, and then she does a little Joan Rivers, and, and she does a Jodie Foster, who, and to sort of be given free rein to get to do that, was amazing. And then to have the theater community say with a Theatre World Award, right on, kid, you know what I mean? Like, keep coming back. That was great. Because I before I always felt like I was sort of flirting with the theater world, or like I was the dime store floozy of the theater world, and they'd never call afterwards, and then they finally gave me a ring. Like, I feel like this is them saying, like, we're going to do right by you, kid. We're going to make you legit, so I feel thrilled.
Erin Davey for Grey Gardens.
It is certainly a dream come true. It's funny because a year ago I was temping, and I was honestly thinking, this acting thing really isn't working out for me. What else could I possibly do? And then boom, last fall I got this audition, and actually I went in for the understudy, and I happened to miss the callback for the understudy because of communication problems, and luckily they let me come back while they were doing their final callbacks, and that's how it all happened. So it's all like a fairy tale and a dream come true completely.
Xanthi Elbrick for Coram Boy.
It's just a huge welcome for me, and I mean, the theater has such a family atmosphere, and I feel like I'm a part of it now, and it's just a beautiful way to enter, and I feel so lucky to be welcomed this way, you know. That's how it feels, and to be awarded by, you know, those who've received this award themselves, and as a one-off award that I could only get one time, and I got it. It's just, you know, unbelievable and wonderful.
So what I love about this award, this is the first award that people get. It sort of validates what you do, and it sort of sets you on your right path. And just talk about, it must be sort of bittersweet with the whole journey your show has taken. Talk about the thrill of doing Coram Boy 8 times a week and the whole cast over there.
Well, this award is really for them because it's such an enormous ensemble show, and was. And yes, going from 8 shows of jumping around as a 14-year-old and an 8-year-old boy with all those lovely people on stage to having a well-needed rest is very sad. It's very sad to say goodbye so early, but I keep meeting people who saw it, and you know, it really lit up people's lives, and it keeps being talked about, which is so wonderful that it's been remembered, you know.
See, that's the important thing. Your show is going to be the first show that somebody saw. It's going to be their introduction into the theater, and that's the most important thing that's happened, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I met so many young people through that, and very young people. I mean, there were children who came to that show who were blown away, you know, 11-year-old, 12-year-old kids who were so inspired by it and have written letters and are so, you know, I mean, they came 5 or 6 times, some of them. So that was an incredible thing, and those were our best seat fillers by far.
Fantasia for The Color Purple.
I think it was Plain and Fancy. That was, my Lord, 54, 55, something like that. 56, 54, 55.
But tell me what it means, because this is that first validation award that a newcomer gets in his business. What did it mean to you?
Everything, you know, because you know what you want to do, but you don't know if the world is going to let you do it. And then, you know, when there's an acknowledgement of your work at that early age, it's a great feeling. Do you know the year I won, Tony Perkins, Christopher Plummer, and Julie Andrews, the 4 of us all got the award that same year.
Johnny Galecki for The Little Dog Laughed.
Well, I'm just kind of stunned by it all. I didn't, you know, I mean, obviously we don't do what we do with awards in mind, but I couldn't be more excited. I couldn't be happier, especially for a debut award in New York. I mean, this whole experience in New York has been really overwhelming. I had no idea of the support system that the New York theater community was. It's really like nothing else. So I feel so blessed to be a part of it.
Jonathan Groff for Spring Awakening.
This award means so much to me because not only is it sort of a recognition for my work in Spring Awakening, but it also has been given to so many. I didn't know what they were before I received this award, and looking it up and sort of studying the history of it, so many people have been given this award at the start of their careers, from Victor Garber to Matthew Broderick to Jason Robard. So it's exciting to sort of be going in the, you know, in the same starting off place as those legends that you sort of look up to. So it's a real honor.
You know, stars used to say this was their validation because you start out in this business and you really don't know where you fit in.
Yeah.
And this is like the first one that said, yeah, you're a really good actor, here's your starting point.
Yeah, it's really great. You sort of feel like a member of the club, you know? It's really, really nice. And the fact that it's not a competition award is great. We're just all sort of here to celebrate each other and celebrate our, you know, debut performances on or off Broadway is really exciting.
Gavin Lee from Mary Poppins.
It was 1945. And I was 19 years old, very green, and it was the first year, so I didn't know what the Theatre World Awards were. So, you know, it was nice. That's all I can say, because at that time I really didn't know. But looking back, it's tremendous.
Because when I tell everybody nowadays, this is the first award, this is the validation you get that, yeah, I'm in the right profession, I'm doing the right thing. It's sort of that pat on the shoulder of saying, keep going, do what you do, we appreciate it. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, I would. That's good.
So talk about, you were honored for Carousel. Talk about what it was like doing that show and working for Rodgers and Hammerstein.
Well, I had been in Oklahoma, so I knew Rodgers and Hammerstein. I knew Agnes DeMille, so I knew that whole group of people. So for me, it was just nerve-wracking that was I good enough? Was I good enough?
Lin-Manuel Miranda for In the Heights.
It's a little bewildering, actually. I mean, I really see myself as a songwriter who's just getting the songs out there. So to be recognized for acting is a real thrill, and for me, it's really just an honor for my cast because they're amazing and they make it so easy for me to jump up there. So it's really for them.
The other thing is, I mean, this award is given for newcomers. I mean, this usually comes at the really beginning part of the award season, and so many people, this is the first award they ever got, and sort of like a validation that it sort of lets you know that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, this is definitely my Sally Field, you like me, you really like me moment, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's really a treat. I saw the list of previous winners, and I'm no Marlon Brando and I'm no Bernadette Peters, but it's nice to be on that list. That's really exciting.
Now, I know the show is shutting down off-Broadway because you guys are moving to Broadway, right?
Yeah, we are moving to Broadway in the fall. We don't have a theater yet. We don't know when, but we're going to do it.
Bill Nighy for The Vertical Hour. Stark Sands for Journey's End. Elijah Sun for No Child.
Oh, well, it's just, for me, it's a culmination of a whole year of doing the show. I closed the show just 2 days ago, and it's definitely a beautiful day for me.
You know, no one does this stuff for awards, but you've received so many awards and accolades for this wonderful show you created, performed in. Have you put into perspective yet? What does it all mean? This weekend I get a chance to meditate and think about things because in the end it's really odd doing shows and then getting awards because you don't get a chance to really sit and absorb it until when you really do sit down and sit in silence and just think about all the blessings and all the shows and all the fans and all the teachers who came to see the show. It's extremely overwhelming, but in a beautiful way. Because that was the biggest thrill for me. Your show touched so many people. I told you my sister was a teacher. Just watching the audience at your show was the biggest thrill for me.
Yes, I miss the audience, actually, yeah. Well, you know, the thing is that I'm going to be touring the country because I think it's important for the teachers as well as the rest of the country to see No Child and to see the show and to have a great time.
I know she's my second cousin. Would we raise some eyebrows? Maybe. But she's only my second cousin. And we will love our flipper baby. Pillars of community. From Arkansas to Tennessee. And when they can't keep it in their pants, they keep it in the family. Let's keep it in the family. Yeah. She's my cousin, and it doesn't matter to me.
Well, Roseland recently looked like Mount Olympus when Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS took it over and turned it into a Greek wonderland for one of their hottest yearly events, Broadway Bears. This year marked the 17th annual edition entitled Myth Behavior. Some of Broadway's finest dancers were the gods and goddesses of Greek mythology. The executive producer was the creator and founder, Tony Award winner Jerry Mitchell, and the director was once again Dennis Jones. Since its first incarnation in 1992, the past 16 editions of Broadway Bears have raised millions of dollars for BCEFA.
Here's to Broadway Bears 17.
To get me high, it's time for you to tell me a myth that will
I am a Greek statue. I'm your own personal Greek statue. This took about 4 to 5 hours to do. We were here at the crack of dawn. Everyone volunteered their time. It was fantastic. Everyone works to death to do this one show, and it's all for a great cause, and we had a fantastic time today.
We did a great photo shoot this year. As you see here, a very Maxfield Parrish-like paintings with 3 different posters. We have a 13-month calendar that was made that's beautiful, that's selling really well right now.
Oh, we have hats, we have t-shirts, we have magnets, girl or guy, your preference, whatever. Awesome. And they look like this.
Which number is this for you?
You mean Broadway Bears?
Broadway Bears.
This is my first.
Is it real? I thought I taught you last year.
No, because last year I was doing that play Burley Grimes off Broadway, and I was playing a pole dancer. And Dennis Jones, the choreographer, came to me after last year. He said, "And you're not in Broadway Bears because..." So this year I emailed him. I was like, "So do I get to be in Broadway Bears?" He said, "Sure."
So talk about what the rehearsals have been like for this and being a part of this whole experience.
Well, after having done that show last summer, where I had literally nothing on, well, not literally, but almost nothing on, I felt like I had too many clothes on. I felt like this number had too many clothes on, but that's not true. There's a lot of naked bodies.
And just talk about Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, what this organization means to you.
Oh, well, we all want to find a way to do our part constantly, and we give as much as we can, and we give our time as much as we can, and I think that this is the most theatrical of all of the events, and everybody gets a little wacky and a little silly, and I think that's what makes it so iconic. It's so exciting for us to put on these characters of strippers. I mean, I think nobody wants to admit it, but everybody's really excited to try to be a stripper.
Well, there's a lot of hot bodies, and as one of the not so hot bodies, everyone has been so lovely, and we are such a family here already, taking care of each other. Everybody's helping me get on in my 5-inch heels, and it couldn't be more fun. I've never done drag in my life, and I'm having so much fun with it.
Well, talk about the number you do.
I'm in Pan, half goat, half man, and then I'm Helga, the queen of the milkmaids that comes out to milk Pan. So you can use your imagination, and we kind of milk him into the audience. It's disgusting.
This is I think the most special event to me every year, because it's just, everybody donates their time. IATSE people donate their time for the Build the Stage, and the MAC people donate the With We Love, and they donate their time. Everybody has just donated everything to one fantabulous day of naked, and you don't get any better than that,
Well, my gosh, it is just a cavalcade of fun, and it takes you on a journey. Greek legend, Roman legend, all kinds of legends put together. And the through line, most of all, is love. All we need is love. Amore sempre, sempre amore.
It's amazing. It's just so amazing because you get here and everyone is so excited. It's such a good cause, but at the same time, there's so much energy and there's so much it's just so fun. People are wonderful. You meet the most interesting people and everyone just pulls together and it's just a blast.
This has been a privilege just to be around all these people who have amazing talent, and just to learn the choreography and being with really dedicated people, awesome choreography, yeah. And the costumes are awesome too.
designed the finale costume, right, for Carpathia Jenkins.
She comes out as Aphrodite or Venus, and so I said, well, let's take this off of Botticelli's famous painting, The Birth of Venus. So we've pulled all of our colors from that piece of art, historic artwork, and then embellishing the shells and the pearls, and to kind of, portray the goddess of love in something other than a toga and a halo, So just to put a little classic twist on it.
So how long did it take you to design the costume and actually design it and make it?
It takes me about an hour to design it and 2 hours to draw it. To actually put it together, and normally when I work, I don't do that much sewing or cutting, but it's like I'm 22 again, and in college. So it took me about 2 weeks.
Well, I see it's all laid out now that people are working on. So what are you adding on between the run-through and the 9:30 show?
Just more twinkle.
More glitter, more beads, right?
Yeah, more twinkle, yeah.
Basically, we took a look at them on stage and decided that we need a little bit more sparkle, so we're adding rhinestones, as many as we can until it's showtime. As much sparkle as time will allow.
How many years have you guys worked on Broadway Bears?
My first year.
My third year, actually, with Broadway Bears.
Second.
So what has the experience been like in between all these costumes and everything else? Talk about that.
It's really a great experience. The money that they raise is well worth the time that everybody spends, and it's a great experience for everybody involved.
Well, it's so exciting to do a show like this with your friends where you can just be like free and sexual, and I'm an actor and I'm playing narcissist. It's not much of a stretch, but it's been a great time.
Talk about the number that you're doing and how long you worked on it and put the whole thing together.
We had 2 rehearsals, and then after that we just started running the show, so it's not very much time. Maybe a total of 5 hours total that we learned.
Have you been to Broadway Bears before?
Yeah. I've been to Broadway Bears the last 2 years. Had a lot of fun. So
well, talk about the audience's reaction, because we just saw the run-through, which of course, it was just a small little group. Talk about what's going to happen at 9:30.
Well, the people definitely go crazy. They scream and they catcall, and it's a bunch of fun. I've been one of those people. And then the rotation's always fun because you get a lot of people shoving money down your pants, and so they're a very supportive community. So
let's talk about what Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS means to you and why you want to be a part of this.
Well, I just think it's, Jerry Mitchell has often said it's a great way to maintain your sexuality in an era of AIDS and not feel bad about it. We shouldn't be ashamed of our sexuality. And, everybody's got a little bit of exhibitionist in them, and why not just do it for a cause like, at Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. So.
Now, myth behavior obviously looks back at Greek mythology, sort of, kind of.
We're Greco-Roman. We never really specify which. But yeah, no, we've Broadway Bears has taken mythology and spun it in a kind of a Broadway Bears sort of way. Not like you really have to. It's such filthy stuff to begin with. It really lends itself so gracefully to all of this madness that you see around you. But yeah, no, it's gods and goddesses this year.
Now, when last year came to a close, did you have the name and the idea for this year last year? When did you all come up with Myth Behavior?
I sort of pitched a few ideas to Jerry in August of last year. There were kind of 4 different directions that I thought the show might go. And mythology was the one that he jumped on immediately, and it just felt like a natural, and I hope we were right. I think so. We just had a great run through, and people seem to be into it. And gods and goddesses are so sexy, and kind of so dirty, and they're all sleeping with each other, and they're half this, half that, and it's great stuff for us to play with.
And just talk about the audience's reaction that comes to this, because this is unlike any other show in town.
Yes, it is. They're crazy. These audiences are nuts, and it's hard to tell. They just seem to love everything that you give them a this and a that, and they just lose their minds. So it's hard to tell sometimes if you're doing a good job or not, because they're so across the board supportive that who knows if the show is good or not. It's such a lovely audience. It could stink, and they would still go crazy. Although I feel quite confident that it does not stink. I think we got a winner on our hands here. I'm very proud of it.
This is all Dennis. The funny thing is we were busy all year long, Dennis and I, and he was right by my side through all of Legally Blonde, but cooking up this idea and working hard on this idea, and this is all Dennis, and I'm just here to support him and support Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS and help raise money. I mean, it's just what's amazing to me each year. I was thinking about it as I was coming over here. It's the spirit. And, you know, because Dennis and I are cut from the same cloth, gypsies, dancers, choreographers, directors, and we've worked so long together, he has that spirit that I love, that I try to have, and, you know, that's why people come back.
Well, let's talk about the spirit and generosity of this group, because, you know, we cover all of these benefits and all these openings and all these rehearsals for shows, but there's an energy at these unlike anything else. Talk about that.
Well, you know, I mean, you feel it. You said it. You cover these things. I mean, you know, gypsies, when you're a gypsy, it's different than anything else. And these kids are all gypsies. And the people who are here helping them get their clothes on and their makeup are here because the gypsies are always the ones who have the best time. And that's why they're here. And it's creative. Everybody gets to be creative here in a way that they don't get to be creative in their Broadway show. So that's fun.
You know, and you look back at 17 years. I mean, this started small. It was a group of gypsies who got together. I mean, talk about the growth of this whole thing.
I said the other day, I remember going to Bump for Broadway Bears 3, and there were 10 volunteers. It was the first time we had volunteers. There were 10 of them, and they were setting up a runway, and I started to cry because I thought, oh my God, they believe in this idea. I mean, there were 250 guys here today, IATSE guys here, working for free. I mean, that says it all.